Welcome back, viewers. In this video, we are going to discuss few more word problems based on relationship between zeros and coefficients of polynomials. And at the end, if possible, I will just discuss how to find the zeros of the polynomials involving with the irrational numbers. Right? Now, let us just go into the topic. If anyone didn't see the previous video, just go for search that relation between the zeros and polynomials. You can find in our channel. You can get some relevant information to that and also appropriate information so that you can follow this class. Right? Let's get started. Let us start with a simple question again. If one of the zero of polynomial, if one zero of the polynomial k plus 1 of x square minus 5x plus 11 plus 5 is a multiplicative inverse of other, is a multiplicative inverse of other, then find the value of k. Then find the value of k. Right, this is the question. So if one zero of the polynomial is multiplicative inverse of other. So let me just quickly recall what is the multiplicative inverse that we learned in our previous classes. If I give you any number as a 2, taking the reciprocal of this number is nothing but the multiplicative inverse of the of 2. So why we have to take the multiplicative inverse as a reciprocal? Because the rule is product of the number and its multiplicative inverse should give you the answer as in 1 here. Similarly, in the case of an additive inverse, if I take 2 as a number, the additive inverse is minus 2 because the rule is it's an additive, that means addition. So if you take the addition of these two numbers, you should get answer as a 0, right? So here according to the question, they said that 1 0 is the multiplicative inverse of the other. So generally we will consider alpha and beta as the zeros of the polynomial. That is the basic thing. But they said that 1 is the multiplicative inverse of other. That means if I am taking 1 as an alpha, second zero should be 1 by alpha. Now see here, it's a multiplicative inverse. We know that with respect to zeros, we are having the two cases. One is sum of the roots, one is product of the roots. According to this condition, we have to go for either sum or product. In some cases both we have to take, but generally this thing will give you the information that what is the product or the what is the in these two which one we have to take. Simple thing, it's a multiplicative, so go for alpha into beta. We know that alpha plus beta is minus b by a, alpha beta is c by a. So if I take product of the roots alpha into 1 by alpha, my c value is 5 and a value is k plus 1. So if I simplify further, 5 is equal to k 1 is equal to 5 by k plus 1. If I do further simplification, k plus 1 is equal to 5, k is equal to 4. So the point that you have to take away from this question is, according to the condition they had given, you have to go for the further proceeding. Please don't go for finding all the values all the time. It won't help you out to get the correct answer. And also approach may not be correct all the time. So please be cautious of identifying these type of hints they had given in the question. You just have to take away that hints and follow the procedure. Right? Now let us discuss one more question from this. Take down this question. If sum of zeros of the polynomial sum of zeros of the polynomial 5x square minus of 3 plus k of x plus 7 is 0. Then find the zeros of, then find the zeros of 2x square minus 2 times of k plus 11 into x plus 30. Two x square minus 2 of k plus 11 into x plus 30, right? So hope you people can get idea by this time. They mention in the question that sum of zeros of this polynomial is a 0 again. So given, first let us take the zeros. Let alpha comma beta are zeros. So what they said, sum of zeros is equal to 0. This is given for us. See, I told you in the very starting, every time whatever may be the topic, how you have to think is what they had given to us, what we know about that. This is the approach that you have to follow. So this alpha plus beta is nothing but minus b by a. B value is minus of 3 plus k. A value is 5. So you will get is equal to 0. So finally we are getting 3 plus k is equal to 0, which means k is equal to minus 3. We got the value of k, but they didn't ask you the value of k directly. They are asking to find out the zeros of this polynomial. That means if you substitute k here, my function, my polynomial will become 2x square minus 2 of minus 3 plus 11 into x plus 30. So simplify 2x square, 11 minus 3, 8, 2 into 8, 16, and then plus 30. So you can observe here 60 you are getting, 2 into 30. So you have to get the factors for 60 in such a way that summation should give you 16, right? So 60 can be written as 15 into 4. So 60 can be written as 15 into 4. This again you can write as 3 into 5 into 4. So you can just group up, you are not getting 16 here. So there is a further chance for me to split this 4 here as a 2 into 2. Now you can observe this is 10 and this is 6. So 10 into 6 I am getting the factors. So 2x square minus 10x minus 6x plus 30. 2 can be taken common, x minus 5 minus 6 can be taken common, x minus 5, sorry, 2x here. So finally 2x minus 6 into x minus 5. If you have to get zeros, what you have to do? You have to equate individual terms to 0. That means x is equal to 3, 5 are the zeros of this polynomial. So this is how you have to identify the conditions, and then accordingly you have to go for the further proceedings in the question. Here in this question they mentioned very directly that sum of zeros is 0. That is why alpha plus beta equated to 0, and I simplified to get the values of k. Once if I get the value of k, I can get the value of, I can substitute this in the required function, and then I can get the factors for that or zeros for that polynomial, right? One important point that you have to notice here, in this question they are not asking you to find the factors, they are asking you to find the zeros. That is why we equated this term to 0 and we got as a 3, 5. For example, instead of asking zeros, if they say that find the factors of this polynomial, you can end up your answer here itself, because they are just asking the factors, not the zeros of the polynomial, right? Now, so these are the important models with respect to relation between the zeros and the quotients of polynomial in the word problems. So again, the key points that you have to remember is depends on the question and what is the condition that they had given to you. Accordingly, you have to go for the proceeding. If in the question they mention about the multiplicative inverse or something related to the product, go for product of the roots. If in the question they are mentioning about sum of the roots or something related to the addition or additive inverse, then go for addition, sum of the roots. Okay. Now, as I mentioned in the starting that let me discuss about some like how to find the zeros of the polynomial, quadratic polynomial involving with irrational numbers. Let us take down this question. Root 3x square minus 8x plus 4 root 3. Root 3x square minus 8x plus 4 root 3. So again, see, though we are having the irrational numbers here, you no need to worry about that. Whatever the procedure that we learned for factorizing a quadratic polynomial, the same approach only we are going to follow, right? So we will just take the product of root 3 into 4 root 3, that is 4 into 3, this is 12, right? Now you have to get how to factorize the 12, right? So 12 can be written as 6 into 2, my requirement is minus 8, so minus 6 minus 2. So root 3x square minus 6x minus 2x plus 4 root 3. Now question comes here, how to take a common here? We don't have anything in common. See, if you see the terms directly, you won't get any idea. But if you just try to modify it something else. First term is root 3x square. 6 can be written as 2 into 3. And this part will be as it is. Now you have a chance of root 3 in case of a 3. That means this root 3x square minus 2 into root 3 into root 3x minus 2x plus 4 root 3. You can observe here from the first two terms, now you can take a root 3x as a common, then you will left out with x minus 2 root 3. From these two you can take a minus 2 as a common and you will get x minus 2 root. So finally root 3x minus 2 into x minus 2 root 3 are the factors, but they are asking you to find the zeros. So equate individual term to 0, you will get x is equal to 2 by root 3 and x is equal to 2 root 3. So my suggestion here is, whenever you are having the terms involving with the irrational numbers, you no need to get scared of that. Instead, please try to think how to factorize it further, like how we are doing with the normal numbers. That is only the way to make it easy. Right? Now, let me give you one more question based on that. See, for example, if I have a question like this. 2x square and then say some 7 I am having, and say here minus 2 root 14. Okay, sorry, 2 root 7. You can observe here again, you have to multiply 2 and 7, that is as usual 2 into 7 equal to 14. Now the point you have to notice here, you have to factorize the 14, that is okay. The possible factors for 14 are 1 into 14, 2 into 7. There are no other chances. But if you see your requirement here, this is in terms of an irrational number. So that means you have to write this 14 in such a way that irrational number has to come into picture. So this 14 can be written as a root 14 into root 14, correct? Because root a into root a is again a. So this 2 root 14 will be coming from this. So 2x square minus this 2 root 14 I am writing it as in root 14x minus root 14x plus 7. Now the question comes here, there is nothing common in the first two terms. As I told you, if you see or observe it, you will get that idea. First term 2x square, this is root 2 into root 7x. Even this is root 2 root 7x plus 7. Now you can observe here there is a root 2 in this 2 as root 2 into root 2x square minus root 2 root 7x. Here you have a root 7 here minus root 2 root 7x. There is a hidden root 7 in the 7 which can be written as root 7 into root 7. So you can take in the first two terms root 2x as a common, root 2x minus root 7. From the next two terms you can take minus root 7, then you will get again root 2x minus root 7. So finally I am getting root 2x minus root 7 into root 2x minus root 7. So that is nothing but root 2x minus root 7 whole square. So that means what happens at the same point, 2 zeros are lying. So as I have to find out the zeros, I will get x is equal to root 7 by root 2, root 7 by root. Now the doubt you may get is, as both are repeating, do we need to mention both the roots or is it enough to mention one root alone? You have to mention both the roots because both the zeros you have to mention. For the simple reason, I told you it's a quadratic polynomial because it is having a degree as a 2. The degree indicates how many solutions it will have. If you write one solution, that is wrong. Why? Because it's a degree 2 polynomial, so you should show the two solutions for sure. Though they are same also, you should show the two different solutions, two solutions. So that is why you should write both x values as a root 7 by root 2, root 7 by root 2 for 2 times you have to write. Clear? Right. In the next class, we will discuss about the next topic in the polynomials, that is nothing but long division method. Right? Thank you.